Welcome to episode 134 of In Touch with iOS, a podcast that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and my co-host, Warren Sklar, is here. How are you doing, Warren?
I survived another week, maybe a day.
You did?
Yeah. So far, so good.
You did?
Been working and reading a lot about crazy stuff on the internet, like I always do.
Yeah, we might touch on a few of those things, but I also want to welcome back to the show. It seems like you've become kind of a regular here, Jeff. Yeah. It's Mr. Jeff Gamet back on the show. We don't mind at all. We appreciate you being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and thanks for inviting me back again. And Warren, anytime someone says they've been reading crazy stuff on the internet, that's just every day. Just so you know.
It is.
It would be a crazy day not to read something crazy on the internet. And I'll say, I didn't read something crazy on the internet today, and that would be the crazy part.
Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha.
And we might touch on that crazy stuff.
Or non-crazy, normal stuff.
Well, the crazy stuff like Apple reported their earnings, and it was insanely good. And we'll talk about that. And beta this week, no beta. 14.4 is out. We'll talk about that. And we have a good segment here with Jeff that we're going to talk a little bit about widgets in iOS, and we'll be touching upon that a little bit. So, and a surprise Warren's going to share with us in just a bit here. So we'll tease that one. So,
don't.
So let's
don't hold your breath on this.
Oh no,
let's go ahead and get started
now.
Yeah, you are.
Don't
committed.
get too excited.
Yeah, but so first story, I'm sourcing Mac Rumors as I always do here. Apple reports record-setting first quarter 2021 results: $28.8 billion profit on $111.4 billion revenue. Apple today announced they announced their results yesterday as we record this, and pretty incredible looking numbers here. I didn't go to 6 colors. I should have went there. Jason Snell always does his bar graphs that he creates. Probably should go over there as I'm doing this here. As expected, thanks to largely the later launch of the iPhone 12 series that pushed it entirely into the first fiscal quarter rather than the traditional end of the fourth quarter, this was the best quarter in Apple's history in terms of revenue profit, topping the first fiscal quarter of 2020 and easily breaking through the 100 billion mark in revenue. Oh my gosh, just incredible. And quoting Tim Cook, he said that this quarter for Apple wouldn't have been possible without the tireless and innovative work of every Apple team member worldwide. We're gratified by the enthusiastic and customer response and the unmatched line of cutting-edge products that we deliver across a historic holiday season. We are also focused on how we can help the communities we're a part of building back strong and equitably through our efforts like racial equality and justice initiative, as well as our multi-year commitment to invest $350 billion throughout the United States. So amazing results. I mean, I listened to a good portion of that event yesterday, and I was just smiles everywhere. But of course, the stock market doesn't see it, and their stock dropped $5. So
6.
Go figure.
It's almost 6 and a half.
Is it 6 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's you look at after hours, so it keeps dropping. Yeah. So, go figure. Well, the market hasn't been doing so great, but that's okay. Jeff, what'd you think? This is pretty incredible.
I believe I'm correct in saying that this is the highest quarterly revenue Apple has ever reported. Which, I mean, the numbers we're talking about, what, $111.5 billion in revenue and almost $29 billion in profit. These are just absolutely insane numbers. When you get up to numbers like this, you can't visualize them anymore.
You can't. You really can't. It's just blows your mind. It just who'd have thought? We're 20 years ago, Apple was near bankruptcy, or 25 years ago, and then look where they are now. So
yep, and even still, with Apple bringing in this much money, when iPhone sales dip for any reason at all, you immediately hear people saying, "Well, Apple's doomed. I mean, they're just going to go out of business now."
Every single message board I see, isn't Apple doomed?
Yeah. And with money like this, Apple could just stop selling everything and bring in zero revenue for years and still continue to pay everyone in the entire company worldwide without any problem for years.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. What do you think, Warren?
It's too much money. I think it's too much money.
Yeah, we give them plenty of it. I can say that.
We give them a lot of money, and they're getting it from all over the place. And they could, they're the most valuable company in the world. They could actually buy almost every company out there if they really wanted to. It's good, but it makes me, think that they're going to push for like a breakup of the company at some point because it's too powerful. And Apple would do pretty good if they did. I thought they could break it up to like a services, wearables, and then like everything else. And that's that. I don't know. I thought that would be good for them because that's how they present this in their financials at that point. That's how they break it up. So they're pretty much, I think, considering doing that one day is to have their own subdivision of each one because it would make sense. And that's what Alphabet did. But if they do that, it's not like Apple, it's just changing the name of like, the company had, it's still all under Apple and it wouldn't be a bad idea, I think.
I think it would make it harder for Apple to continue to develop products in the way they do today. Meaning when you get new updates for iOS, you have a specific group of people that are working on different parts of the software. Then when it's time to work on iPhone, these people are moving over and working on that. And then it's time to work on Mac OS. And now you have a lot of these same people moving over there. And so you have the same people that are very familiar with the code base working across all the platforms.
Right. Maybe the services would be a different story though. Because services, I mean, they could concentrate more on a certain sector. And, a lot of people are like, is Apple really a services company? Are they really going to be a streaming service? Are they really going to be a news service? And, just under a technology company, these services may or may not be relevant to them. So if they split it off and, put it under a different name, it could be more, it could help with the streaming and and some of those services, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's break down speaking of services, let's break down some of the numbers that we can get reports of. Apple Services revenue actually hit an all-time high, $15.8 billion in the quarter, one in 2021, which is just absolutely crazy. Of course, that includes App Store, Mac App Store, Apple Music, Apple Pay, Apple Care, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and Apple News Plus, Apple Fitness. All show significant growth with all that. So I think the bundles made a huge difference by doing those bundles. I drank the Kool-Aid, and so did Warren. I believe we both are paying for the Premier bundle. So
it makes sense for me with my family. It made sense. So
I haven't started paying for the Apple One bundle yet. And
yeah, you're probably smart.
Well, I was planning on starting in February because the free Apple TV Plus thing had been extended to that. So I figured, all right, well, when that ends, that's when it makes financial sense for me to switch to Apple One. And then I got the email saying, now it's out till July. So it looks like I have a few more months before I switch over to Apple One.
Yeah, of course, I'm not getting an email, nor is Warren, because we already have the bundles. So they said, sucker.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have dropped the Apple TV for the time being if I wasn't getting it for free and I wasn't in the bundle, only because there's nothing really going on right now. Start it back up when Ted Lasso comes back or Mankind and things like that. But they kind of, right now, they're sort of, the only thing coming out soon is maybe that Justin Timberlake thing that my wife might want to see.
Yeah, that's coming soon, the movie, yep. But yeah, they got.
But
I think Ted Lasso is recording. From what we were talking on Mac Voices Live yesterday, the other day. Kelly mentioned that they are recording, albeit how I don't know how they're being safe. But assume they're not recording in the UK. So
other people are doing it. Bet. Well, or in a bubble. Yeah, but you're right. The services, the bundle definitely had to affect the numbers of how many people jumped on. I'm sure a lot of people are jumping on and are gauging it and to see if it's worth it. And, within, a few months, they'll either keep it or drop it. And those numbers might change.
Right. And I also put a link in the news here about that we just mentioned. The Apple TV Plus free trial is now going to be until July of 2021.
Oh, I spoiled that for you by talking about it before you mentioned it.
No, you mentioned it, and I just put the link in the notes. We did have it in there a few minutes ago. So, but I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that too, because that's part of some of the exciting announcements, kind of relating into the quarterly results here. So, also there was another story here that Apple continues to dominate the tablet market with an estimated 19.2 million shipments in the quarter 4 of 2020. And they continue to hold a dominant position in the tablet market thanks to continued iPad sales growth throughout 2020, which of course everybody thought they were doomed with the iPad too, right? That there was no there was no iPads being sold, but they did very well comparatively speaking. They said 19.2 million when they compare Amazon, which shipped 6.5 million and 12%, and then Lenovo shipped 5.6. I didn't even think Lenovo was that big on tablets, but okay. And then Huawei, of course, I would avoid them like the plague. 3.5 million. So they continue their domination in the tablet market, which is great to see. And I'm so even more of a reason why they want to come out with some new models coming soon here. What do you think, Jeff?
This one is cool, but when I look at this table, I'm also wondering how accurate is it really? Because Apple doesn't tell us how many units they sell anymore.
It's speculated. It's by this company called Canalys.
Right. And or Canalys, or however you pronounce it.
Canalys, however you pronounce it. Yeah.
They're good at what they do. But these numbers, we have to look at them with a little bit of a grain of salt. But if they're right, holy crap, Apple is clearly dominating. So, okay, so I guess what my takeaway from this is Apple is leading in the tablet space. If the numbers were all relatively close together, like like we have Amazon and Lenovo about the same, Samsung and others about the same, that wouldn't tell us much. But yeah, well, go Apple.
Yep. Yeah, go Apple. What do you think, Gordon?
Yeah, the competition in tablets aren't really as good as they used to be, and either you're getting an iPad or you're getting a Kindle at this point. There's Samsung has decent Android tablets. I've had a few, and they have really nice ones. But when people go to use it, it doesn't feel as good as using an iPad. And the entry level iPad is a great iPad is like $300, $320. And the new Air that came out is basically the Pro. I don't know. That was delayed, right? I think. Did it drop in October? I know it was announced earlier.
I think it was October last year, 2020.
So that's had about 2 months of the quarter in that sale. So the Air might have been part of that. I know a lot of people went to buy that. And it's as I said, there's no real competition for it. There's probably a lot of Fires Amazon tablets out there, but they're so cheap that or basically free, that I don't think they consider that revenue. They probably lose money on those. Some of them.
I think they do, because then some come with advertising where you have to deal with ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I think is kind of lame if you ask me. But
Yep.
and then the same survey research company, Canalys, did this for the iPhone, and Apple takes top spot in global smartphones market with a record 82 million iPhone shipments in quarter four. And they said they found that Apple shipped more iPhones than ever in the fourth quarter at 81.8 million units. Samsung took second place at 62 million, like a 12% decline. And then all the rest. So these numbers just, like you said, Jeff, I think this is just, you can take it with a grain of salt. You don't know, but this does seem pretty gosh darn good. And looking at Apple's actual numbers that they reported, this tends to fit into that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So no, I think just the time. I think they see the timing now. What they did with the iPhone 12. That who knows when the iPhone 13 comes out towards the end of this year, maybe they'll do the same thing. Maybe move it back to October now and see where it goes. But then again, maybe not. Depends. How they can get production and all that fun stuff. Well, obviously we'll be talking about that as it goes.
Yeah, all these numbers, like insanely high numbers. And this is during a worldwide pandemic where there's a lot of people that are out of work or have lost at least part of their income. And you would think that sales just in general would be softer simply because either people don't have money or they're being more conservative with their money because they don't know if they're going to have money. And yet Apple is making money faster than it's literally possible to print it.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Warren?
Doomed. No. Always right. Always think about it. No, I'm just thinking about the pandemic aspect, and I know from experience trying to shop at an Apple store this last year has been tough. So I know they're losing foot traffic. There's a lot of people will go into a mall and go in and maybe say I do want this iPad, or pick up things like that. But you also have to remember that even though they're not really open, they provide devices to, AT&T, Verizon, Best Buy. So, I mean, you could still walk into a store and buy an Apple device, and Apple counts that as part of their sell. But yeah, it's incredible amount of money in a pandemic. The pandemic, which probably helped in some ways because a lot of those iPad sales were kids working from home or schooling from home, and everybody's home and wants to watch something else, so now they have their own screen. So it's changed the landscape of how people use devices, and parents who might have said no before this have to say yes because their kids are driving them crazy and have nothing else to do. So here's an iPad. It's so it works. Remote workers. Yep. Definitely. The MacBook sales were up. And I think next year is going to be crazy because they're going to release new ones, new designs, probably the M chips, whatever comes after that. The word has already gotten around that the new processor is a winner. There's been, people are excited. There's people who said they were not going to buy it who did. You're looking at probably all of us. So, it's going to be good next year too. So, hopefully Wall Street sees that.
Well, then next article we find that Apple now has over 1 billion. That's with a B. Active iPhones worldwide, and a total of 1.65 billion total devices. So, along with the earnings today, they now have an active install base of 1.65 billion devices, up from 1.5 billion in the year ago quarter. And they also hit another milestone that was the milestone, 1 billion versus 2019. So, and of course, the total active install base includes the iPhone, the iPod Touch, iPad, Mac, Apple TV, and Apple Watch models that are used around the world, their install base. But the iPhone alone, 1.65 billion. That's just incredible. Makes me proud to be an iPhone user.
How long before they hit 2 billion?
It's not too far off. I would think.
Are there that many
got,
people in the world? I mean, how many people live here?
I think it's 8 billion.
So we're getting there one day.
That's the world, right?
Yeah, one day. Yeah. And
world domination.
My son was telling me about an island somewhere where they're completely detached from civilization. They were fighting people off to join the island. This is a real thing. And they have no technology. They have nothing. They're just living like it was like 1,000 years ago. So they're going to have the iPhone too after this is done.
I can't remember the name of the island, but I will back you up, Warren. Real place.
This is a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. A year or two ago, there were people from some religious group. They sent it's funny. I just forgot the word. Missionaries. They sent missionaries to the island,
right? And
when they came onto the island, the people that actually lived there ended up killing them.
Yeah,
to keep them from coming into their community.
And before that, they had bow and arrows, and people would try to approach them, and they would just go away. And people, I think they made it a national, not national, but like a sacred ground or something where nobody's allowed to go.
Well, then you could be a Larry Ellison and have your own island that you own.
Maybe he lives. Right. He might live there. He might be the king for all we know.
Yeah, I'm just visualizing Larry Ellison having people killed for stepping onto his beach.
Stepping on his beach, yeah. And Apple did add a new time to walk feature. It launched a couple days ago as we record this for Fitness Plus subscribers. They officially launched a Time to Walk is what it's called. A new feature for Apple Fitness Plus subscribers with audio stories from influential people that Apple Watch users can listen to with their AirPods or other wireless headphones while walking, that's awesome. This might get me walking more, but I could start getting some motivating walks while I have my Apple Watch, not even have to have my iPhone on me. So you can, because they're automatically downloaded to your Apple Watch with the Fitness Plus subscription, and you can start the episode directly from the workout app. And they range between 25 and 40 minutes in length, and will appear in the workout app from a different guest each Monday through the end of April. So right now they have country music star Dolly Parton. So I think people got excited to be able to hear her. She's kind of a motivating person.
She's an amazing person.
She's my favorite out of these five. I don't even know who two of them are, but
I know Draymond Green is. He was with the Golden State Warriors basketball NBA. If you're not a sports fan, you may not know who he is. Shawn Mendes is a musician. You kind of know who he is. And then
he's not even a good Mendes. They didn't get. They got one of the brothers you never heard of.
Yeah, and then Uzo Aduba, that's from The Orange is the New Black Netflix series actor. So they got those are the first four. So it sounds like they're getting people on board. So this is pretty exciting to see what they're doing with Fitness Plus. They started with all these fitness gurus that are doing the fitness sessions that they hired and are actually employed by Apple, to bringing on stars here just to bring more excitement to the Fitness Plus. I think, Peloton, Apple's coming for you.
I think gonna get scary. This is actually a good thing. And I think they need to have a Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Just get Sedaris to do a whole Ted Lasso thing.
They should.
Well, what I read is if you next year you're coming out with the Bundle Plus, and if you do the Bundle Plus, the actual person comes over to your house and walks with you.
Sweet.
Yes. So it's an.
Are you sure that's some good news? A good rumor.
It's $1,020 extra per month to do.
Oh,
but
okay.
you get the 4 terabyte storage plan with that as well.
Oh well, there you go. So with that storage, totally worth it.
Absolutely. Yep.
So let's move a little bit on a new story relating to our friends at Google. Google stopped collecting advertising identifiers in iOS apps in response to iOS 14's upcoming tracking prompt. Apple will soon require, as we know, iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV apps developers to request permission to use and click the random advertising identifier known as the identifier for advertisers, or IDFA, which advertisers use to deliver personalized ads and track how effective their ad campaigns were. Specifically, users will be presented with a prompt and allowed or deny tracking when necessary. So we know what they're doing here. They're trying to block this, and Google is still being resistant. They still haven't updated their apps yet. Their apps haven't been touched since December 7th, which was the day before this went into effect.
They usually update their apps on a really regular basis.
Very frequently. So, and I believe I read that they are going to change something to the way the app grabs ads only specifically to iOS apps because they have to comply. I think I seem to remember reading that. I don't have to have that article here, but
yeah, it has to do with there's a unique identifier that you used to have that normally they take, but they're saying they're not going to do that. They're not going to collect that unique identifier somehow. I mean, if what they're doing is in effect, doing what Apple wants them to do, which is not, not jeopardize the privacy of the users, then good. This is a good thing. I mean, they're saying they're actually stripping out something that is alerting Apple that there could be a problem. So they, instead of telling people they're going to do it, they're just not going to do it. So, this is not a bad thing. And then, actually you should, commend Google for doing it. I think if it is what they say they're doing.
I would commend them more if they hadn't been harvesting an insane amount of personal information on us all along.
Yeah. Well, they'll still do it just outside of iOS, I think.
Of course they will. Yeah. I mean, why would they stop any place that they don't have to?
Well, they stopped doing it on the phone, but they did send out these drones to watch your house. So,
yeah, there's two outside mine right now. It's really kind of creepy.
That's their plan. Their plan B. If we can't get them through the iPhone, we'll find a way to get in. So
yeah, it's weird though how they drop banners in front of my windows with ads. Just so weird.
Hey Jeff, it looks like you're going to the bathroom. Could I interest you in toilet paper?
I should really close my curtains.
Squeezably soft.
Hey Jeff, I noticed your curtains are a little dirty. Could I assist you a cleaning service for you?
That's why I avoided the Facebook piece of this puzzle, because they're going crazy. There was a whole big story about that. I don't want to even go down that rat hole.
Yeah, I mean, all these companies that make money off us are going to complain that Apple's making it harder to do so, and all the people out there are going to say, "Good, we love privacy" and things like that. But, we also like, buying things, and learning about things that are relevant to what we want to buy. And we don't admit it because we don't want to be targeted, but I'd rather be shown, electronic stuff that I could buy compared to like diapers in my feed. So.
And then you got a question. Well, of course, Google pays Apple billions and billions of dollars to be the default search engine on iOS devices. Mm-hmm. People question why isn't Apple, with all their privacy pushes, why aren't they considering making DuckDuckGo their default because of their privacy?
No, because DuckDuckGo can't afford to pay as much as Google does.
This is true. So,
and
I think that's what Apple's response was. It's just that Google's the dominant search engine. I mean, they're the number one search engine. Why would you want to change that? So, all right. And then last story, and I thought this was a good one to talk about when we talk about widgets here. Apple has invited developers to attend a special online event to help improving on app widgets. Apple is now inviting select developers for iOS, iPadOS, and macOS to join in its engineers and designers in a special event online that will provide insights on how to improving app widgets, which are part of iOS 14, iPadOS 14, and macOS Big Sur. It's a event called the Big Great Widget Experiences event, which will take place in actually a couple days here as we record this. And of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, this is all virtual. So of course, they're going to get millions if they hadn't already invited all the developers, just like WWDC last year. So So this should be an interesting event. I'd like to hear what comes up out of this, and I hope they talk publicly about it. But I wasn't invited, and I don't know if you were, Warren. I never got an email. I have a developer's account. Doesn't necessarily mean I do much developing of apps, but I would think anybody who has a developer's account may maybe opt to.
I did see an email, but I deleted it. I don't know if it was for that. It might have been for that. But I don't remember getting specifically invited to it. But
so, and Jeff, what do you think? Because you're going to be talking about this topic in a little bit here. This really stands out that Apple's really committed to widgets now, because before they weren't ever as big of a deal before iOS 14, but now they are.
I just double checked. I did not get an invite.
Yeah, I figured you have a developer account too.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised I didn't get an invite, but I'm really excited about this because there's so much that developers can potentially do with widgets. And right now, I feel like for the most part, we're just not seeing that happen. There's some widgets that do give really nice functionality. But at the same time, a lot of the widgets that I want to use just aren't giving me the experience that they ought to. It's like they're there, but they're not all the way there. So I hope that this event just really drives the usability of widgets up. Now, of course, it can't happen immediately because developers have to take this information and go and work with it. So, over the next few months, maybe we'll see a change in some of the widgets, and we'll get more functionality out of the widgets that are out there and what's still to come.
All right, let's go and move to topics. Our topic always each week is about beta. Beta is now not in beta at the moment. So, Warren, going through withdrawal on your iOS device. So you got to go over to the Mac side. So that's still going.
What's today, Thursday? By Tuesday, there'll be the new beta, I'm sure.
We probably have either 14.4.1.
Right.
No, or maybe 14.5. Who knows? So what 14.4 is actually probably a little more important to get up installed than many of the other previous versions right off the bat, but because a lot of people like to wait sometimes make sure everybody else is doing their beta testing before they let it out. But I highly recommend, and I'm sure you guys will all say too, that you really should run out and get 14.4 installed on everyone on your iPhone. Do it now, because there's three major security vulnerabilities that Apple says may have been used in the wild, which includes a kernel vulnerability, which can allow a malicious application to elevate privileges. And Apple says they were aware of that report, and it was active and may have been actively exploited. I also believe they exploited WebKit, causing some arbitrary code that could execute and be actively exploited. So a lot of important things. So you got to, anybody who has as an iPhone that's from I think it's the 6S and newer, go out there, update to 14.4. Very important to take care of that. So what do you think, Warren? Important, right?
Important. The weird thing is, Apple is saying that there were the 3 exploits. So they came out saying, and nobody else is saying anything about it, which if it was an active exploit, you would think that would have been hot news and somebody would, figure out what happened and who and where. So Apple definitely, if this happened, they contained it pretty well. If there was actually, because, people will be all over that. Updates are good. I'm sure Google has these 3 security holes out all the time, and they update every 2 years. So, we get our updates every few weeks. So do them while you can. Get them all the top.
And then a couple of improvements. I guess I didn't realize this. Now there's a support for smaller size QR codes. When scanning a QR code on the iPhone's camera, it's now able to recognize smaller QR codes, which actually I think about it. like I'm on the back of a monitor, being an IT guy, as you are as well, Warren. They have the small QR code on the back of it. I want to be able to scan it, and I never was able to do it, so I could get the serial number.
And then if you make it bigger, it just gets fuzzy and doesn't read it.
And it gets fuzzy, I won't scan it. So,
so this is,
you try that too,
this
Jeff?
is huge.
Yeah, I've had that same problem.
It's huge. It's huge.
This is a huge development.
It's a huge development of a small QR code.
I did not try this myself, but I had someone tell me that they did this. So I can't verify that this is true, but they said
I got to find something with small
they took
QR code
one iPhone and used Magnify on it, and then a second iPhone and scanned the QR code off the first iPhone screen, and that's how they were able to get around the tiny QR code.
That's funny.
That could work. Yeah.
The other thing that they added was the Bluetooth device settings, which is smart because if you can go into a Bluetooth device, and actually I've talked about this in previous shows as a tip. You can go into a Bluetooth device like a headset. Like I have a one of those sleep headbands, Bluetooth earphones that I wear when I'm in bed at night to listen to podcasts and news and such. And then now you can go in and not only can you change the name of the device, because there was, when you buy those types of devices, they're very generic names, and what the heck, it says UTTW or whatever it's called. So like, what the heck is that? So I changed it. It's headband Bluetooth for sleep. So I changed that. But the good thing is it also there's a section in there allowing you to change the device type. So if you go in, like I go in and see my Uconnect for my car stereo, it says it's car stereo, or headphone, hearing aid, speaker, or it'll be set to other if it's a device it can't distinguish. So that was a new feature.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's actually cool, really cool. Somebody in the Facebook group posted a picture of it. Some kind of bug. He has a pair of Bose headphones connected, and the device type says headphones, but there's still a grayed out button that says sync contacts. And he was like, how do you do this? I'm like, well, you can't sync your contacts to your headphones. So it's not perfect yet, but it's getting there.
I'm wondering if part of that is actually from the devices and not so much a bug in iOS, because iOS takes its cue for what the device is and what it can do from the device identifying itself.
Right.
And so those headphones there's probably something in there that is sending the iPhone the wrong information.
That is like a car stereo, because the car stereo systems must have that thing that tells you that it could store contacts in there. So
right. Yeah. And so, they probably have the same chip in their headphones. It's in some car stereo, and so it gets identified that way. I've seen some devices in here where you can't assign a category to it at all. Right. And then others where you can't rename them.
Right.
And I'm sure that has to do with the way the device is identifying itself. And
that makes sense, because Bose does car stereos. So maybe, they just didn't do it right. So yeah, it makes sense.
So a couple of things I want to go. I think there hasn't been too much else. The time to walk we just talked about in the Apple Watch, and also the Apple Watch, I believe, added that new watch face. Right? Did you try that one?
For a second, I didn't really like it, but I like the new band.
What was it again? What was it again? The face?
Unity.
Unity.
Yeah, it's a Unity watch face, right. And it's like red and black. It's neat, and it kind of matches the new band that they put together. It's kind of the same color scheme. Is it red and green? I think there's green
red, black, and green.
Yeah, that's it. So it's nice looking. And it's I think they were talking on the one of the shows. Tim Cook said it was part of their initiative for the economic the low level economic stimulus plan is what they're doing. So it's good causing.
And then the HomePod got updated to 14.4, which improved the functionality with the HomePod Mini, the U1 ultra wideband functionality that helped improve the handoff of visual, audible, and haptic effects when transferring songs from the iPhone to the HomePod Mini. So they've improved that, which is good because it was kind of buggy from the last version.
I still turned it off.
Yeah, not everybody likes it. I've turned off the automatic connection to the AirPods. It was driving me crazy, so all my devices don't automatically connect anymore.
Yeah,
so
I turned it off to the AirPods and the HomePod. I'm like, you know what? You tried, Apple. You tried to automatically switch my stuff to different speakers and things, but you're not there yet.
And did you try that with your HomePod Mini, Jeff?
I'm with Warren. It's not there yet. I have a lot of frustration with the way Apple hands off audio devices between their products, and using AirPods and switching between my iPhone and my iPad. It's a crapshoot if it works, and oftentimes I just have to take my AirPods out and put my phone on speakerphone instead. Yeah.
All right. We've got links in the show notes for all the other articles related to tvOS, watchOS. tvOS is always boring. I don't know why we even talk about it because they really don't do much as far as updates.
Doesn't
there.
Change. I haven't looked at it in like a year or so.
Yeah. So let's go and move on. Warren actually put this in our show notes for a topic this week. He decided to do a bit of an experiment with creating his own, could we call it a homemade MagSafe case, more or less? You got a case and you got some MagSafe accessories that can make it work. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. So I bought a car mount that's similar to the Belkin one that they sell at Apple. But instead of which you return, which goes onto the vent, but the one I bought from Amazon was a knockoff that actually has the universal thing where you could stick it on pretty much any mount, and it works really well. But what I've noticed is it only works with MagSafe cases. Everything else won't stick to it, and it doesn't have a holder, and it's just like the Belkin one. So I had already had some other cases. I have 3 MagSafe cases, but I have a few that I bought that are not. So I found on Amazon that they have, basically MagSafe compatible round metal plates that stick onto the back of the cases that will supposedly do it. And what I found out is the more expensive one, which was this Satichi, which is it's more of a known brand, right? That one worked. That one, I have 2 MagSafe chargers. One is genuine from Apple, and one is a 011 that I bought off Amazon for cheaper. And strangely enough, it only charges with the fake MagSafe charger. So it doesn't charge with the Apple charger, but it kind of works. And then it holds the phone up pretty well. The cheaper plates that I put in there, they're terrible. It won't stick, and it just falls off the mount. So that, basically, I feel like I'm stuck with buying MagSafe. If you have this chart, if you have any dock or thing in the car that basically needs to be held together with the magnet, then you're really stuck with MagSafe cases, which kind of sucks.
You have any thoughts, Jeff?
Nope.
I really, really want to see Warren have this amazingly successful thing with a homebrew MagSafe case.
I do too.
I really want this to happen.
I have all these great cases that I can't use anymore, and that's sad for me. So,
and you've seen his collection of cases. Well, at least for his iPhone 11, he's got to build up his iPhone 12.
I'm up to 7. So.
I thought I was bad with 3.
Yeah. I like cases.
Yeah,
can I tell you?
Well, it's like underpants. You need to have more than one, right?
Yep.
And
that's your favorite.
Except generally nobody else sees my underpants but me, but that might not be true either. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Google, they're probably watching.
They know Warren. I see that you're running out of white.
They see what your size of Fruit of the Looms.
Yeah. Can I order you some extra large Fruit of the Looms? Sure, Google. Go for it.
Yeah. Thanks, Google.
All right. Well, we have links in the show notes to the case and the magnetic sticker that he tried. And if anybody out there wants to try it out and let us know how you come out with it. But I think the MagSafe case has still got a little ways to go for their.
It's not quite there yet.
That's not quite there yet. So
there's actually one thing that I want to see if it works, and it's a product from Night Eyes, and it's called the Steely Mount. Okay. And so it's this little base that has like this shiny steel ball attached to it, and then it just sticks like on your dashboard of your car. And then they have all of these different attachments that go on that. So like right now I'm using one where it's a clamp and it grabs my phone from the sides. Right. And since it's magnetic, I can just pull that off and put something else on. Well, they make another attachment where it's just this little disc. It's the magnet on a disc, and it has adhesive on the back. I'm wondering if that would work on a MagSafe charger. Just stick it on the back of one and pop it on this Steely mount in the car, and now you have an Apple MagSafe charger right there in your car. And but I don't know if it would work. I don't know if the magnet in that little mount is going to be strong enough to screw up the wireless charging field.
So what I learned in this too, because I had a bunch of when you before MagSafe, they had magnet systems where you get the black magnet. The black or white or silver piece of metal that you could stick on the back of a phone, and you put it on a magnet. So those things are actually not magnetic. So the magnetic part is on the phone is magnetic, but the thing you're attaching it to is not. So it's like something like that, like those little things that you stick on the back of the case that were magnetic might work. I don't know. In
this case, I know that little ring actually is a magnet.
Okay.
Because it has to stick to the steel ball.
Okay. But the side facing the phone, is that magnetic or is it not?
So the piece that attaches to the phone, it's like a layer. So the back layer is the adhesive, and then there's like a little base attached to that the magnet is held in.
Okay.
So the magnet itself never physically touches the phone.
What's it called?
It's called the Steely from Night Eyes. And guess what? I am adding a link to it right now in your show notes to help out.
See it. Because I'm all in now. I got to get my cases to work. I see this. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually a local company, and
I just don't know if that's going to pass. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to pass it through the charging though. So I'll test it.
Yeah, and since it's on the back, it would be stuck to the backside of the MagSafe charger. I'm thinking maybe it would be okay.
But
I don't know.
About it. I don't know. I'm willing to try. Ways to stick your phone to something. That's today's show.
Yeah, we like sticking our phones in those magnetic connectors.
Just don't put it near your pacemaker.
Right.
Yes, don't do that.
Yes.
So with the remaining time we have left, I wanted to just briefly talk a little bit about widgets, and we'll probably have to have you come back to another show here to talk a little more. But also you'll be joining me next week at Suburban Chicago Apple Users, the iPhone Special Interest Group. So maybe I even share that with folks as well. You gave us a great presentation last Saturday, which I really appreciate you coming on, talking to us, and some great stuff about widgets. So I wanted to just kind of have you touch a little bit about some of the apps. We got them in the show notes here, and what you do with widgets that makes it a lot more fun to be using your iPhone.
For sure. Well, first, thanks seriously for inviting me out to the user group, because
we had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and I have to say, one of the things that we did. Part of the demo where someone asked me about it was hiding home screen pages.
Yep.
And so I showed how to do that. And it's funny because I do it all the time and couldn't remember, wait, what order do you do that in? Press and hold on an empty spot on a home screen, and then press on the little ellipsis at the bottom. And then that shows all the pages. You have a little check underneath each page. And if you tap that page becomes invisible because the check goes away. There's apparently a bug that I hadn't experienced until we did the demo. And the bug was that the little check circle underneath each page went away after I tapped it. So I couldn't make my pages visible again at all, which really sucked because while the apps are still there and I could just like swipe down on the home screen and search for them and launch them, I couldn't actually get to them, just by swiping through. After the 14.4 update, I was able to get the pages back, but the little circles underneath the hidden pages were invisible. But when I tapped where the circle should be, they came back to life, and then the little check is visible underneath the page. So anyhow, if anyone's experienced home pages disappearing and not being able to get them back when you want them, the 14.4 update might help with that. So widgets. For me, I'm using widgets almost exclusively as data presentation tools. And so I've set it up so that widgets that I want to have access to very quickly, they're all on the today view. And then I set up an information page, so essentially on my iPhone. So my first homepage is just applications that I use all the time. When I swipe to the second page, it's just widgets, and it's just an information center for me. So I'm keeping track of my daily step count, my nightly sleep activity, and my calendar, and so I have stuff like that right there. And actually, I did add the battery widget to my main home screen, so I can.
Yeah, I did too.
Yes,
you inspired me to do that. So now it's on my first page now.
Yeah, and it's nice because now
you can see it on my. Oh, no, you can't because I have background on. But yeah, I've got it on the top left, so it shows. Yeah. Right now,
all right. Well, there you can see it on
my watch. Yeah, there you go.
And and then I swipe over, watch, and there you go. There's my
I did
data
that too.
Page.
Yep.
And check it out. There's one of the pages that was hidden before, but now we've got it back.
It's unhid. Very good.
And when I swipe over to my today view, there we go. I've got actually those top 4 widgets are the ones that I need all the time. So it's
calendar.
Yeah, it's Fantastical,
weather.
OmniFocus, Dark Sky, and Air Visual.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I can scroll down, and I have some other stuff there. So that's how I'm using it, just in a very high level overview. And
then you've got 3 tools here. We got links. So
yes.
Widgetsmith is probably one of the most popular of all the apps that are out there for custom widgets, right?
Yes. So Widgetsmith, that's one that lets you build your own custom widgets, and it's free. If you pay for it, though, then you get access to tidal information, as in ocean tides, and their own weather widget stuff. So you can custom build your own widgets to display all different kinds of information, and it's actually pretty cool. So if you want to take this to an extreme, make a bunch of custom widgets that have all the stuff that you want in them, and then make a widget stack where it's a bunch of different Widgetsmith widgets all in one stack. And now you can just flick through all of your different widgets that way and have a ton of information in a very small space.
I found a really fun one. I don't know if you could see it, but with Widgetsmith, you could pick a photo album and have it kind of just scroll the photos in a big area there, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's really cool. Have you played yet with the timed widget feature?
I think this is part of it because it scrolls through it, maybe, or maybe not.
Well, the timed widget part, what it does is it lets you set different widgets that you view in that same spot at different times a day. So, like maybe in the morning you want to see your schedule, and then later on you just need to have the weather, and then when it gets later in the day and you're done with work, then have it switch over to just have some photos showing.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's sort of what the Smart Stack tries to figure out, but this is more.
Yeah. Now, see, the Smart Stack is cool because it's trying to learn what you're doing, so it shows the right widget at the right time.
It tries,
the timed widget, it tries, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not.
Right.
But what Widgetsmith is doing is it's changing it so at this specific time for this specific amount of time, this is the widget you will see.
That's useful. Yeah, so I'll definitely play with that.
And if you're into your health data at all, you need to get Widgets. And this is a widget building app that takes your health kit data and lets you display that. And,
however you desire.
So the way I'm using it, for those of you that are watching the video, you can see that I have a small widget that's showing some sleep data, and that's Widgets. And then right next to it, there's the red box showing how many steps I've taken today. And right now it says I've only taken 827 steps today. In my defense, I didn't have my Apple Watch on almost all day.
Oh, sure.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick to that story.
All right. We'll let you paste. We'll let it slide.
See, I'm so bad. I don't know if 827 is good or bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be good.
Well, if that's more than you had yesterday, that's great. And it's fantastic. And go you.
I've done like two for the day. Is that good?
You know what? That's better than none. So good for you, Warren.
Awesome.
For me, it's bad. But anyhow, Widgets, it's a really great and useful widget maker for you. And
that one's not free. It's $2.99, I believe.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Yeah.
And if you want to just play around with widgets that just look cool, Color Widgets is a great option. And it has like pre-built widgets for you that have like calendars and weather. So useful information, but with a really nice presentation.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Yeah. Now the step count thing that I was showing, that's actually pedometer plus.
Okay.
And it's an application that includes a widget. Like Fantastical includes a widget. OmniFocus includes a widget, or several widgets that you can choose from. And Pedometer Plus does the same thing. I added that to my iPhone because the metric for me that is most useful and is most likely to inspire me to remain active is my step count. And it's something that Apple just simply does not show you at all.
Yeah.
So I wanted that on my Apple Watch. So I got Pedometer Plus so I could have the Apple Watch widget, and then it has a complication. So it's just right there on my watch face. And it also has the iPhone widgets now. So I just added that to my iPhone. And now I can, at a glance, see how many steps I've walked today in a bunch of different ways. It helps, though, if I actually have my iPhone in my pocket or my Apple Watch on, so I can have a step count that's actually meaningful.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And like I said, it could be. We could probably talk an hour alone about all the widgets and things that you could do with widgets.
You had me looking at my phone too. I mean, just a little tip that I just thought about. But
yeah, please. How do you use widgets?
Well, I use them a lot, but check for new widgets all the time, because you install things you don't know might have a widget. So hit that. Just hold down the home button, hit the plus, and hit the home button anywhere other than on an icon, or hit not the home button, the screen, and then hit the plus, and it will tell you what you got. Because there's a few things on here that I didn't even know had a widget.
Yes. Great point. I regularly check after going to jiggle mode, and the plus that you're mentioning for people that are like, I don't know what you mean. Upper left-hand corner, when your iPhone's in jiggle mode, tap that plus, and you get a list of every available widget. And yes, it does change on a regular basis because developers are doing updates and adding widgets to their apps.
Yep, there's quite a list. No, thanks for giving that kind of brief overview, and then some of the kind of highlights of what you could do in widgets. Speaking of widgets and an app, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the one app that I kind of like. I think it's one of the cooler weather apps out there is Carrot. Carrot just updated it to 5.0. I'm kind of sad because I think everybody was so used to how Carrot looked before. So they've done a dramatic change to the way it looks. And it has a widget, of course. I just installed it, and I'm looking at it here. And of course, it has snarky responses, and you can do achievements. Like I just unlocked my achievement of meteorological master. And I look at the weather here tonight, and it's going to get down to really cold at 9 degrees tonight. So it's going to be cold.
Wow.
And then they just called me a frozen meat bag. So they have some snarky comments when you go to check the weather. But it does keep. And I know you like dark sky, but that's another great one, which of course Apple owns now. But it was a much bigger refresh design. I guess makes it a little easier to navigate. And I guess I have to get used to it because I was so used to looking at the old version. But you can customize the layouts, and it gives a lot more details, and you can forward what the weather is to somebody if you want. You can copy the message and share stuff. It doesn't have anything that's useless anymore, but they've done some nice customizations, and I like the way it looks. And there is also now a premium plan that will include all the features of a premium family plan, which also includes all the features of Premium Ultra, which can be shared with up to 5 family members. And that's a little pricey, $14.99 a month. And in fact, I'm not sure what the premium is really going to get you. You get watch complications, customization, and notifications. I think it's when you get into the premium club, and that's $19.99 a year if you wanted to do that. I'm good, I think, with the standard weather app. There's so many weather apps out there. I mean, but the good thing is you don't have to look at the Apple's weather app, which is always blah, and then the Weather Channel, which is always ridiculous with ads. So
I had one. One that. What was the other snarky one? There was another one that was
from Carrot.
It might have been, maybe not. Or anyways, it had 2 modes. It had either dirty mode or clean mode, and like the dirty, it had like the dirty, the dirty mode where like it's raining like I can't even say it, but you could. It made fun of the weather somehow. It's like it's as hot as a woman, something like that. But you could actually turn off the dirty mode. I'll look for it.
I don't know what that one is.
But that sounds like what the Carrot does, because it's like snarky.
Yeah,
like
it was overdue. I think like anything, you got to overhaul an app and make it fresh. Yeah, because the things people get tired of looking stuff after a while. So I got to keep looking at that. And this is okay. And I guess I can't complain. But definitely with galleries and cards and detailed screens and quick actions, there's all kinds of great stuff you can do to customize with this app. And I believe it is now it's free. I think I paid for it originally. Yeah, because they were charging for it, if I remember correctly. So maybe I get grandfathered into the regular premium plan. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. It doesn't. It says there's a premium club, but it is with the in-app purchases. And like I said, you have those other options. And it works on the iPhone, the iPad, and the Apple Watch, as well as there is a widget available you can put in there as well. So
Nice.
all right. I think, unless you guys have anything else, I think we have brought this show to a close here.
I'll just say real fast. It's called What the Forecast. It's an app. If you want to try
throw
to
that in the show notes, if you could.
Yeah, it's actually really funny too. It's the same deal, but it's funny.
It's really funny, but
what was it called
not
again?
kid safe.
Well, it could be. You could put on the kid safe option.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'll put.
What's it called again?
It's called What the Forecast. I'll put the link in here.
What the F forecast?
That's what it is. Yeah, it's the WTF, but What the Forecast, and it says things like it's like the sun is talking some serious trash about you behind your back. Hope you start up. It's funny. I'll link to it.
Yep. We'll definitely check that out. Let's see if there's yep, there it is. The App Store they have an app. I'll have to check that one out now. Add it to my collection of weather apps here.
Nice.
And it is free with in-app purchases as well. So they probably want to charge you for all the dirty words. Oh no, $2 it removes the ads.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
See, that's reasonable.
worth it.
Give you everything, but pay a fee and get the ads out. I think that's a nice way to do the in-app purchase.
Yeah, I like that.
It's got almost
I
5
always like
stars. Look at that.
Yeah, it does. No, you got me. You're gonna get me to download it. I'll probably even pay the $2 for it.
There you go.
You've got the big credit in the app store, so I think I'll be able to spare $2.
It sucks at predicting the weather, but it will make you laugh either way. So
Yeah. That's why we have Dark Sky and Karen.
That's right. Yep.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap things up here for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Twitter @intouchwithios. You can subscribe in your favorite podcatcher, including Apple Podcasts and many others. But better yet, just go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Twitter @DaveG65. And Jeff Gamet, thanks again always for being here. Where can everybody find you?
They can find me at JGamet on Twitter and Instagram, The Mac Show and Big Show on British Tech Network, Mac Voices on a regular basis here. And
Looks like we're going to make you a regular too.
yeah, well, I get around and I get around because I have so much fun
Yeah, we do.
on all the shows. So thank you for having me back again.
Absolutely. I may even be on the Mac Show tomorrow. I think everything looks like everything's falling into place. I'll finally be able to make an episode tomorrow. So we'll, that's the Mac Show on the British Tech Network, as well as Mac Voices Live, where we do that every Tuesday night with Chuck Joyner and our fun crew of folks. That's 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube for Mac Voices. So, and Warren, what's been going on in Mac to the Future?
Well, we all been talking about how excited we are for Jeff to be on the show. That's all we've been talking about all week.
There's been a few snarky comments out there this week, but I think
for the most part,
I think everybody's been getting their answers to Mac to the Future. So we've got a good group.
Got an influx of new people this week. That's what.
Did you?
Good. There's a little story behind it, but I won't go into it now.
All right, sounds good. Maybe after show.
Actually, definitely the after show. I'll tell you.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody, thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show this week, and thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.